If we hear more, but Bernie, that's another receiver that's banged up in Colt McCoy's arsenal.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't help Colt McCoy doesn't help the Browns offense. And in particular, for Carlton Mitchell, him trying to make himself into a Cleveland Brown, get an NFL career going, and get himself on the field. A terrible time for him to miss preseason games and miss training camp.
Pat Shurmur making his head coaching debut, his 13th year in the NFL, but first as a head coach. And Shurmur ready to go here at Cleveland Brown Stadium. On the other sideline, Mike McCarthy, his 6th year in charge of the Packers. He's led the Pack to the playoffs in 3 of his first 5 seasons. The only other Packers coaches to win a Super Bowl, Vince Lombardi and Mike Holmgren, who you heard from on our pregame show tonight on Channel 3.
Well, much has been made about these kickoffs and being 5 yards up. I think early in the season, you're going to see teams and kickers just kicking it for touchbacks, trying to kick it out of the end zone. I think as the weather gets worse and the season progresses, you're going to see teams get a little more aggressive, a little more creative, and try skying it up in the air and getting some of their athletes down and putting pressure on the kickoff return unit.
Randall Cobb, a 2nd-round pick out of Kentucky. The Packers have high hopes for Cobb. He is back deep to receive Phil Dawson's kick. And the 2011 preseason is underway. Cobb in his end zone, and he will take it out. Up the middle at the 15, has some room to the 25, and the tackle made at the 26-yard line, and that's where the Packers will take over 1st and 10. Dimitri Patterson, who came over from Philadelphia, in on the stop for the Browns.
Over the weekend, you heard Josh Cribbs kind of tweeting that he didn't like, obviously, the new rule moving it up 5 yards, and he was challenging kickoff return guys to take it out no matter how deep they were. That was about 4 or 5 yards deep in the end zone.
There you see Aaron Rodgers, the Super Bowl MVP, expected to play a series or 2 tonight in the first preseason game. He's going to start in the shotgun formation. And we have a whistle right away.
Team timeout. Cleveland, 30-second timeout.
So the Browns have to call a timeout before the first play from scrimmage. We'll have to ask Dick Duran and Pat Shurmur about that after the game, but not the way you want to start the preseason. The Packers starting lineup brought to you by Verizon. Verizon 4G LTE, built so you can rule the air. Clifton, Sherrod, the rookie, Wells, Sitton, and Balaga up front under offensive coordinator Joe Philbin. Jermichael Finley not starting tonight. Andrew Corliss is in there, along with those great receivers, Driver and Jennings. Following the timeout, 1st and 10 from the 28. Rodgers fakes the handoff, throws left, and it's dropped by Jennings. Sheldon Brown on the coverage. Let's look at the Browns defense. The starting lineup brought to you by Liberty Ford, Ohio's #1 Ford dealer group. Dick Duran, his first year as the Browns defensive coordinator. Up front, they are young, but they have promise. Mitchell, Taylor, Rubin, and Sheard on that line. The linebackers, Fujita, Jackson, and Mayaba starts. Chris Gokong out with a stinger. 2nd and 10 for Rodgers and the Packers. Rodgers to throw again, dumps it off underneath to Grant, tackled immediately by DeQuell Jackson. Jackson playing in his first game since October of 2009, and he's in on the stop for Cleveland.
You see 2 base zone defenses coming out by Dick Duran. Aaron Rodgers passing the ball, timing not exactly there like it's going to be probably in the regular season games.
5-yard pickup on the play, so a 3rd and 5 for Green Bay, just underway in the first quarter between the Packers and Browns. 3 receivers set for Rodgers again in the shotgun. Rodgers has time, throws over the middle, incomplete. Pass was intended for Jennings, and the coverage on the play by Mike Adams.
Nice job of the Browns secondary, mixing it up like we talked about. 2 zone coverages on 1st and 2nd down. Hard man coverage, got up and challenged the Packers receivers.
Adams starting at safety tonight. Usama Young is out for the Browns with a hamstring injury, will not play. Tim Mastay, the punter for Green Bay, and back deep for the Browns, Jordan Norwood waiting at his own 20. And he's retreating back to the 10. Norwood catches it at the 8. To the middle at the 20. Norwood slips a tackle, spins, still on his feet, and gets out to close to the 30-yard line. A nice return by Jordan Norwood.
Norwood's had a nice training camp so far, working a lot as the third receiver in the slot. He had a little hip flexor issue first week at camp, but seems to be healthy by the evidence of that run.
Season number 2 for Colt McCoy. He made 8 starts last year, 6 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, and was an integral part of what the Browns did during the lockout, organizing 4 Camp Colts, where he got his teammates together and got everyone to practice during the lockout. 1st and 10 for Cleveland on their own 29-yard line. Cribbs at the bottom of your screen. McCoy looking to throw. Steps up. Now dumps it off to Peyton Hillis. Check that, it's Marisic, and he couldn't hang on.
That was close to a lateral there.
Here's the Browns starting offense, brought to you by Liberty Ford, Ohio's #1 Ford dealer group. Pat Shurmur, who will call the plays on offense, has a strong offensive line. Thomas, Steinbach, Mack, Laval, and Pashos. Watson, Rabisky, and Cribbs. Marisic and Hillis in the backfield.
Man coverage outside.
To give to Hillis up the middle. Trying to push that pile forward. Pickup of a couple on the play. Will bring up 3rd down for Cleveland. Here's the Packers starting defense, brought to you by Verizon. Verizon 4G LTE, built so you can rule the air. They play a 3-4. Pickett, Raji, and Neal, who missed most of last season up front. Matthews, Hawk, Bishop, and Walden, the starters at linebacker. Packers have a bunch of injuries at cornerback. Charles Woodson not playing tonight. Bush and Tremont Williams are the corners. 3rd and 7 for Cleveland on their own 32-yard line. McCoy's in the shotgun, 3 receiver set. Cribbs the motion man.
Dom Capers in the blitz.
McCoy over the middle to Cribbs, and he's got a Cleveland 1st down.
Fantastic job of the offensive line, picking up a 7-man blitz right there, giving Colt McCoy plenty of time. It's an outstanding job in the middle of the pocket. Josh Cribbs just finds the little void within the blitz zone.
A 10-yard pickup on the play for Josh Cribbs. 7th year now out of Kent State. 1st and 10 for Cleveland. 12 minutes to go in the 1st quarter. Hillis and Marisic in the backfield.
Colt sees the overload to the right side. Sees the blitz come from the right. Audibles to play on the left.
Hillis trying to bounce it outside, but he's tripped up. Mike Neal in on the stop for Green Bay. And it's 2nd down.
Very clear sign there that Colt McCoy's feeling comfortable with the offense, with the terminology, and then pre-reading the defenses. Seeing the blitz coming from the bottom of your screen there, checking to a run away from it.
Capers blitzed a lot in that first preseason game a year ago, and you'd expect more of the same here tonight, Bernie.
I think that's in Dom Capers' DNA.
2nd and 9 for the Browns. McCoy fakes the handoff, rolls out, has Greg Little, the 2nd-round pick. Pass midfield and down to the Green Bay 45-yard line.
There's some of the kind of play-action pass, moving the pocket that we were talking about in the pregame show. Getting Colt outside the pocket, a little naked play. Greg Little with his first catches at Cleveland Brown.
12-yard pickup for Greg Little, the 2nd-round pick out of North Carolina. Did not play last season, so this is his first game action since 2009. He said he was eager to get out there, but not nervous. He's a confident receiver. And we have movement on the line, and a flag comes in.
Full start, number 82. Offense, 5-yard penalty. 1st down.
That goes on Ben Watson, who led the Browns with 68 catches last year. Browns are really loaded at tight end between Watson and Moore and Alex Smith, and then the rookie Jordan Cameron as well, all expected to see time tonight.
Mixing up the formations and personnel groups early in the game for the Browns.
First and 15 for Cleveland at midfield. Another fake handoff. McCoy dumps it to Hillis. At the 45, Hillis to the 43-yard line. Good job by McCoy to get rid of that ball, and Hillis picks up positive yardage.
Yeah, nice little play call by Coach Shermer. Nice little slip screen to Peyton Hillis. Good anticipation of the blitz coming. Green Bay has a high tendency when you cross midfield on first down to bring pressure, to call a nice little safe screen to Peyton Hillis. High percentage.
8-yard gain makes it 2nd and 7 for the Browns. McCoy to throw, has some time over the middle, has a man, it's caught. First down, Cleveland. And that's Brian Robisky who keeps this drive going.
The double A gap blitz was an exact blitz that gave the Browns a lot of trouble last year in the first preseason game against the Packers. Fantastic job by the offensive line and both running backs keeping the middle of the pocket perfectly open for Colt to step up and find Brian Robisky coming across the field.
Browns president Mike Holmgren said on our pregame show he'd like to see the first team offense move the ball down the field. Well, a good start on this drive for Cleveland. First and 10 from the 27-yard line of Green Bay. McCoy looking deep to the right. That's Cribbs down there. He's got it! Touchdown, Cleveland! 27-yard touchdown to Josh Cribbs, and the Browns are on the board at 6-0.
Beautiful throw by Colt. Outstanding job by Colt, by Josh Cribbs, pushing off just a little at the end to get open. Causes just that little bit of separation at the exact right moment that the ball's arriving. Very smooth veteran move by Josh Cribbs.
27-yard score for Cribbs, who last year only caught 1 touchdown as a receiver. No return touchdowns for Cribbs a year ago. But he gets in on the Browns' first drive of the preseason, and now Dawson for the extra point. Dawson is going to kick in the first half, but the plan is for Jeff Wolford, a first-year player out of Missouri, to kick in the second half, and Dawson's extra point is good. Well, a good start for the Cleveland Browns offense, capped off by a 27-yard touchdown pass from Colt McCoy to Josh Cribbs. The Browns lead it 7-0. Welcome back to Cleveland Browns Stadium. The Browns are on the board. An impressive first drive, capped off by a 27-yard touchdown pass from Colt McCoy to Josh Cribbs. Here's a look at the scoring drive, brought to you by Honda. See your Honda dealer and discover the great values now being offered. 8 plays, 71 yards. Bernie, what a start.
Yeah, fantastic. Talked about Josh Cribbs setting up the DB, pushing off just a little at the end, but obviously being biased, being the next quarterback. Fantastic throw by Colt McCoy.
Dawson kicks it away. It's Cobb back deep, and he will take it right at the goal line. Randall Cobb very fast. Out to the 20, spins, still pushing the pile up to about the 27-yard line. Cobb set an SEC record last year for all-purpose yards, 2,396, breaking Darren McFadden's record. We'll come back with the Packers' second offensive possession. Beautiful summer night here in Cleveland, and tonight's game being broadcast all across the state of Ohio. We want to say hi to those watching in Columbus on WBNS, Youngstown on WYTV, Dayton on WHIO, and of course those of you in the Cleveland area watching on WKYC TV Channel 3, your official station of the Cleveland Browns. Aaron Rodgers back for his second series, first and 10 from his own 27-yard line. Browns lead it 7-0 on the touchdown from McCoy to Cribbs. James Starks running right, had a big postseason, but a nice tackle down there by the Browns, and Darrell Jackson again.
DeQuell Jackson, each of the first 2 series now, getting off to a nice start, making tackles on both first down plays.
Jackson, a second-round pick by the Browns in 2006, has missed almost 2 full years because of pectoral injuries. Pass is complete to Corliss, who's tripped up by TJ Ward.
I'd hate to see your definition of a good hit if that's tripped up right there. Nice job of TJ Ward coming out of the secondary, disguising it like he's in a deep half, coming down to cover, slot to flat.
Ward likes to hit. We know that. That was good enough for a first down for the Pack. Ball on the 38-yard line.
See Aaron Rodgers changing the play.
Gives it to Starks again, running right, has some room. And a 9-yard pickup on the play for James Starks. Only played in 4 regular season games last year, but in the playoffs, he just went off. 123 yards rushing in that playoff win over Philly. Scored a touchdown in the NFC Championship game as well.
Another tackle by T.J. Ward downfield. Like to get this before he gets 9.5 yards. Second to very short. I think in a regular season you'd be seeing him take a shot down the field, almost a waist down. Or opportunity down.
2nd and 1, Rodgers out of the shotgun. He's going to throw to Jennings on the near side of the field. Sheldon Brown wraps him up. So it's a Green Bay first down, but a good job by Brown to limit the yards after catch.
You had room to run if Sheldon doesn't come down with the tackle. Nice job out there on an island.
Sheldon Brown now in his 10th year out of South Carolina. Says he's a different player this year. He feels a lot more comfortable in this 4-3 system and with a guy that he knows from Philly and Dick Duran as well. First and 10, they go back to Starks. Cuts it at the line of scrimmage to the left. Penalty flag on the play. Good job by the Browns to stack him up at the line, led by Jamal Shearer.
63, 10-yard penalty, first down.
That's Scott Wells, the center who started every game last year for Green Bay, number 63. Getting a hold of big Phil Taylor, the first-round pick.
Phil Taylor making his presence known in the middle.
Well, on the first day of practice, Pat Shurmur said his presence can be felt. This is a guy that the Browns have high hopes for. First-round pick, 21st overall in the 2011 NFL Draft.
We have zone coverage outside.
Rodgers flushed out of the pocket, rolling to his right. Throws downfield, wide open is Driver. Tackled immediately by Adams, but a big pickup for the Packers. Driver got free, and Green Bay moves the chains.
Aaron Rodgers gets outside the pocket, lose the contain on Aaron Rodgers. Too many weapons on Green Bay's offense to give him that much time outside the pocket.
32-yard gain, and now Green Bay goes to the no huddle. Right back at the line, 1st and 10 from the 26-yard line. Rodgers to throw again over the middle, and it's caught there by Corliss, and the tackle made by Fujita. The Packers just have so many weapons. This offense last year was 9th in the league in total offense. In all 5 of Mike McCarthy's seasons, they've been in the top 10. Second and 5.
Aaron Rodgers looks like he's going to have man outside again. I think he drew him offside, free play.
It's a free play, and it's a touchdown. Greg Jennings into the end zone for Green Bay, and the Packers make it 7-6.
Offside, number 92, defense, a penalty's applied, touchdown.
Penalty on Jamie Mitchell, and Greg Jennings is into the end zone.
Aaron Rodgers sees safety in the middle of the field. Unfortunately means you got man outside. Aaron Rodgers making a beautiful throw to Jennings. They've done this before.
They did it 12 times a year ago, including twice in the Super Bowl, and that's the drive Aaron Rodgers was looking for. Now, a bit of a delay. Every scoring play this season is subject to review. So anytime we have a touchdown or a field goal or safety, any scoring play, they will take a look. They are happy with what they saw. It's a touchdown. And now here's Mason Crosby for the extra point. We'll have to see if that slows the games down this year, Bernie, because now coaches get a couple extra challenges in their pocket if every touchdown is going to be reviewed. 4:38 to go in the first quarter. Greg Jennings into the end zone, and the Packers and Browns are tied at 7. We're back at Cleveland Browns Stadium. Here's a look at the scoring drive brought to you by Honda. See your Honda dealer and discover the great values now being offered. 7 plays, 73 yards, capped off by the touchdown from Rodgers to Jennings. Mason Crosby set to kick it away for Green Bay, and back deep this time for the Browns is the rookie Buster Skrine, who has really turned some heads at training camp. The 5th round pick, very impressive. He's really flashed at that cornerback position.
Yeah, and it's good to see Josh Cribbs after starting the game. No need on the first preseason game to risk the Pro Bowler. And this is where rookies, undrafted guys, 5th, 6th, 7th round picks need to make their presence known, be able to stand out and get noticed by the coaches.
5th round pick out of Chattanooga. And one of the better training camp battles so far in Berea has been Greg Little against Buster Skrine, helping them both out. Skrine's going to take this one out at the 10. Skrine falls forward to the 23-yard line. That's where the Browns will take over on offense with the game tied at 7. We'll take a break and we'll come back with more on Channel 3. 4:32 to go in the first quarter. The Packers and Browns tied at 7. Colt McCoy in his 2nd year now out of Texas. Made 8 starts a year ago, 1,576 yards, 6 TDs, 9 interceptions. How does this new system fit for Colt here, Bernie?
Well, I think the new system fits for him and being his 2nd year and getting the reps, getting the timing. I think moving outside the pocket like we saw on the first drive here tonight is definitely going to be a benefit too. So man coverage across the board.
And that pass is complete again. Evan Moore dragging tacklers up to the 29-yard line. Pickup of 9 on the play for the big fella. Evan Moore, 6'6", 250 pounds.
Very impressive job by Colt. First drive and the first play of the 2nd drive here. Reading the defenses, pre-reading the defenses, understanding man-zone blitz. There was just straight man across the board. And finding the matchup of Evan Moore. Nice easy pitch and catch for 8 yards.
On 2nd down, they go to Peyton Hillis, and he is stuffed. Flying in there for the Packers is Morgan Burnett. Only played in 4 games last year, suffered a season-ending knee injury in week 4, and that'll bring up 3rd down for Cleveland.
You don't see many safeties meet him in the hole like that and stop him that swiftly.
Last season, the Browns were 37% on 3rd downs. They have a 3rd and 1 here with 3:25 to go in the first quarter. Out to Evan Moore, one-on-one, and a great tackle made there by Burnett again. That looks to be short of a 1st down, and the Browns will have to punt.
Very rare that you complete 2 for 2 and not get your 1st down there, especially when you had 2nd and 2 like that.
So here's Richmond McGee, who on August 2nd was at his job as a stock trader after being cut by the Bears. August 3rd, he joins the Browns after Reggie Hodges went down. Picked a good time to get out of the stock market. Randall Cobb at the 25. Eludes a couple of tacklers and gets back to the 25. Timeout on the field, 2:39 to go in the first quarter. The Packers and Browns all knotted at 7. Green Bay and Cleveland tied at 7 late in the first quarter. And here's your fan cam brought to you by Mazda. Engineered for the few who care about what they drive and the way it makes them feel. Because if it's not worth driving, it's not worth building. Beautiful night here in Cleveland. And we have a new quarterback for the Packers. It's Matt Flynn. In his 4th year out of LSU, Aaron Rodgers finishes his night 6 of 8 for 74 yards and a touchdown. 1st and 10 for Green Bay at the 25-yard line.
Matt Flynn sees Kaluka Malava threatening the blitz, changing the play. Reads it correctly.
Caught by Crabtree, and DeQuell Jackson right there to make the tackle. Coach Shermer said he'd like to see the starters play the first quarter, and then the backups will come in for the 2nd and 3rd, and then the 3rd stringers for the 4th quarter. So with 2:15 to go in the first quarter, this could be the last defensive set for the Browns' first-team defense. 5-yard pickup on the play, 2nd and 5.
safety's coming up again. So he's got man coverage on both outside receivers.
Just gets the play off. Flynn throwing deep along the sideline. Too much for Jordy Nelson. Coverage on the play by Joe Hayden.
Boy, I really hate to see that. Quarterback does a beautiful job of pre-reading the defense, checking to the right play, give your receiver a chance, don't throw it out of bounds.
Joe Hayden had 6 interceptions a year ago, which was 5th in the NFL. And really, Hayden and Ward, who were both rookies a year ago, have stepped up and taken on more of a leadership role this year. They feel a lot more comfortable in their second season in the NFL. 3rd and 5. High snap. Flynn has it, steps up, has time. Now rolls out to his right. Penalty flags on the play. Pass is incomplete, but we'll have to see what the flag is back in the defensive secondary.
A little defensive holding down the field.
Packers are pointing that way. Here's Walt Coleman.
Illegal contact, number 24, defense. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
That goes on Sheldon Brown.
Dick Jauron showing the confidence that he has in Sheldon Brown and Joe Hayden. A lot of man coverage, a lot of those 2 guys on an island themselves. The other 9 guys trying to handle the rest of the field.
So that extends the drive for the Packers with 1:42 to go in the first quarter. Crabtree, the motion man. Comes the blitz by Jackson. Flynn fakes the handoff, being chased, and he's sacked. Jamie Mitchell and Jabal Sheard getting there in the backfield and bringing down Flynn.
Wow, nice job by Jamie Mitchell. Fighting off the block at the line of scrimmage.
5-yard loss on the play. Mitchell got him first. Sheard finished him off. There you see Sheard, the 2nd-round pick. He's been going against Joe Thomas in practice, which has just been an incredible help for a rookie. Flynn throws right, caught by Jordy Nelson. Hayden right there, and he drags him down. Good tight coverage by Joe Hayden.
Good sound fundamental defense in the play call by Dick Jauron and in the execution by the players. 2nd and long like that. Don't give them a big chunk of it back. Make them earn their way. Play the soft cover 4 zone. Given that short hitch pattern, that'll check down in front of the defense to make it 3rd and long.
3rd and 9, and some chance of defense here from the fans at Brown Stadium.
Man coverage outside again.
3 on the play clock. Flynn just gets it off. Looking left, throws that way to Jones. It's incomplete. Sheldon Brown had the coverage, and Cleveland forces Green Bay to punt.
You can see Matt Flynn seeing the coverage, seeing what's coming at him, and checking to the outside one-on-one coverage. Just doesn't execute like Aaron Rodgers.
Certainly the highlight of that defensive stand by the Browns, the combined sack by Mitchell and Sheard, and now Norwood back deep to receive the punt from Maestay. Norwood steps up at his 17-yard line, across the 20, still on his feet to the 30. Norwood spins all the way up to the 35-yard line. Well, if you know someone who is missing tonight's game, that's no problem. Sports Time Ohio will rebroadcast the Browns and Packers. The game will air tonight at midnight in its entirety. Sports Time Ohio, your official cable home of the Browns. 6 seconds left in the first quarter, and Colt McCoy is back out there for the Browns, along with the first-team offense.
Like to see a nice drive here from the Browns offense. Green Bay starting to put some of their 2nd-teamers in.
Brandon Jackson, former Packers running back, the motion man. McCoy has his pass knocked down and incomplete. And for Colt, that's his first incompletion of the night. He was 7 for his first 7. And he's finally stopped with 2 seconds left in the first quarter. How do you like what you saw from McCoy so far tonight here, Bernie?
It's hard to argue with 7 for 8 right now. You know, right there, we heard Coach Shermer talk yesterday about how he wanted to see Greg Little, so he was going to try to maybe force a few throws to him. I think that's what maybe we saw there. Cole trying to get the ball to the rookie second-round pick over the middle. Wasn't really there.
Little in the slot on this second down. The handoff is to Hillis, running right, has some room and knocking over tacklers across the 40 and down to the 42-yard line. And that will end the first quarter. An exciting first quarter for the Browns, highlighted by the touchdown from McCoy to Cribbs. And at the end of one, it's Green Bay 7, Cleveland 7. We're coming back on Channel 3. For the start of the second quarter, let's go down to Dave Zhidowski on the sideline for this sideline report brought to you by Dodge. Hey, Dave.
Hey, Andrew, thanks a lot. You talked about Richmond McGee earlier in their first punt with the Browns, but I want you to keep an eye on him tonight because he's also the team's holder, and he's never been a regular holder before. Remember, he's taking over for Reggie Hodges. I asked him on the sideline if it felt good to get the first one out of the way. He said, yeah, good to have it under his belt. Back to you.
Good stuff. Thank you, Dave. McGee trying to lock down this job in the preseason. He's the only punter in camp right now after the injury to Hodges. McCoy to throw. And he's got a man wide open as Ben Watson slips the tackle. And across the 40 of Green Bay, another big completion. McCoy, this time to Watson.
Fantastic job again by the offensive line and Cole McCoy going to his third option there. This is originally designed to go inside. Ben Watson on the corner route, his third option. Fantastic job by Cole, resetting his feet and getting the ball outside.
19-yard gain. McCoy is 8 of 9 in the first preseason game. First and 10. McCoy throwing again over the middle to Watson. He's got it at the 15, 10, and down inside the 5-yard line. Now he lost the football, but they are saying he's down. What a catch, though, by Ben Watson.
Again, unbiased. It was a nice catch, a beautiful throw, though. Outstanding read by Cole McCoy. Nice scheme, nice schematic play call by Coach Shermer.
Watson was 5th in the league last year among tight ends with 68 catches, back-to-back catches here against the Packers.
Just a different formation to run all go.
And now first and goal for Cleveland. They go to Hillis, running right, trying to push his way forward, and he's in, touchdown, Peyton Hillis.
Seeing the strength of the right side of the line and seeing Peyton Hillis' obvious strength. He gets met around the 2-yard line and just pushes the whole pile into the end zone.
Brute strength right there by Hillis. You saw it a lot last year with 11 touchdowns. 6'2", 250 pounds, and he's got his first touchdown of the 2011 preseason.
A lot of credit to Alex Mack in the center of that pocket. First touchdown drive, did a good job picking up the blitzes. They are anchoring a good run game to get Peyton in the end zone.
And if that's the final play of the night for Colt McCoy, wow, what can you say about what McCoy and the first team offense did? McCoy 9 of 10, 135 yards, and a touchdown. Brought to you by Honda. See your Honda dealer and discover the great values now being offered. Ben Watson had a couple of big catches on that drive, and then Peyton Hillis punched it in with a 3-yard touchdown run, and the Browns have a 14-7 lead after an impressive first quarter and early second quarter for the first team offense.
And I think that'll be about the end of the first team offense. You can't get much better than that against the defending Super Bowl champs.
No doubt about it. Shaky Smithson back deep for the Packers. Fields it at the goal line, and he takes it out. Smithson along the far sideline, and he's pushed out of bounds by Boy Francis. First and 10 for Green Bay. Bernie, how about the audibles that we saw McCoy call on his offensive possessions? It seemed like he really had a lot of control and command when he was at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, Andrew, I agree with you completely. Very astute point. his command of the offense, his comfortableness up there is very evident today of putting the team in the best possible play, taking advantage of what the defense is giving.
And a handoff on first down for Green Bay. And we have seen some substitutions on that Browns defense. The second team is now in for defensive coordinator Dick Jauron.
Seeing a little bit of confusion with the substitution patterns with the second teamers coming in by both teams.
2nd and 8 after the 2-yard pickup. And Derek Robinson jumped.
Neutral zone infraction. Number 67, defense. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
Not the type of start you want to get when you're trying to make a team and make yourself be a playmaker on an NFL roster.
Robinson played in 14 games a year ago, signed as a free agent in 2009, made 24 tackles for the Browns last season. And they go back on the ground. This is Ryan Grant, who missed all of last season after injuring himself in week 1 against Philadelphia last year. Injured his ankle in the 2nd quarter of the opener. Forget about the Packers. I mean, this incredible run they made last year was with 15 guys who ended the season on injured reserve. Grant, Jermichael Finley, Brad Jones. These were all big parts of the Packers that they didn't have, and they still went on this incredible run to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it shows a fantastic area of depth on a Packer team.
And conversely, Bernie, that'll make it so hard for some of these undrafted rookies Green Bay has to make the team because they have so much depth of the guys they were missing last year.
Exactly right. I think you're going to see a lot of NFL teams, a lot of NFL scouts really scouring the waiver wire, watching teams like the Packers that have an inordinate amount of depth on their team. In no way could they get down to 53 players without some really tough cuts. And that's actually how the Browns ended up with an Evan Moore.
Cut by the Packers. Second down and 5 for Green Bay. Grant and Kuhn in the I formation. Flynn looking to throw left, has a man, it's caught by Jones, and Jones across midfield has a Green Bay first down.
I like what Dick Jauron's doing from a defensive standpoint. We've been talking about a fair amount of man coverage. Test the cornerbacks out. Is this Coy Francis? No, excuse me.
Ramsey Robinson.
Ramsey Robinson, but they're trying to get the cornerbacks to make plays and put them on an island on an NFL game and see how they handle one-on-one coverage with no help. Who could make the plays? Who could shut down NFL-type receivers?
10:35 to go in the first half. 1st and 10 for Green Bay. Empty backfield. Flynn chased out of the pocket. And he just throws it, and it's broken up by Ramsey Robinson. Nice play by the 4th-year player out of Alabama, signed as a free agent in January.
Does a better job on the man coverage this time. Stick it right in the hip pocket. Almost cuts in front of it and makes a play.
Credit to Brian Schafering as well for putting pressure on the quarterback. There's Robinson. Flynn's been the #2 quarterback each of the last 2 years. He had to make a start against the Patriots last year because Rodgers was out with a concussion. And Flynn lit it up. 251 yards and 3 touchdowns, and that pass goes incomplete.
So a little surprised he made that throw over the middle. Had pretty obvious man coverage with guys freed up, hiding in the middle of the field. A lot of danger in there.
This play by Buster Screen, a guy that Pat Shurmur has talked about a lot throughout training camp. He has really impress these Browns coaches. And the thing that Shurmur has said throughout this week is, we know he's doing well in camp. How do these rookies do, these young guys do when the lights come on in the stadium? And that's what they want to see from guys like Screen and Little as we have flags come in.
And I think so far so good. The initial game hasn't.
Neutral zone infraction, number 67, defense, 5-yard penalty, still third down.
Well, that's the second time that's happened to Derek Robinson.
As Coach Shurmur was saying before the penalty here, as we were talking about, it's one thing to practice. It's another thing on game day to be able to come out here and make plays like you practiced. And we're seeing some of the younger guys making some plays tonight.
3rd and 5 for Green Bay. Ball at the 41-yard line. Flynn running right, chased by Schafering. He can't get him. Flynn still on his feet, and he picks up a Green Bay first down. Brian Schafering almost had Flynn, but he was able to escape, and Green Bay keeps its drive alive.
Same coverage. Man lurkers in the middle of the field. This time Matt Flynn doesn't make the mistake and throw the ball over the middle. He knows the weakness is outside where the man one-on-one coverage is. No defensive guys are.
Schaefering's played 21 games over the last 2 seasons. Second year out of Lindenwood. So a 1st and 10 for Green Bay. Flynn looking to dump it off on a screen pattern. He's got Nance, and Nance is stopped by Titus Brown. Good job by the linebacker there, Brown, his second year out of Mississippi State.
Nice job in the pregame show of Vic Carucci tipping us off that he liked Titus Brown, and here he is in his first series, showing up, making a play, doing a fantastic job of reading the screenplay, getting underneath a couple offensive linemen to make the tackle.
Well, one of the Browns' issues is depth at linebacker. They have a solid starting 3, but the coaches are looking for some answers behind those guys, and if they don't have the answers on the team, they're going to go out and find guys when cuts are made. So these are important games for these backup linebackers to try to step up and impress Dick Duran and Pat Shurmur.
You couldn't say it any better. This is an opportunity, like we said in the pregame show, to get themselves on film to show that they belong in the NFL. 5 of the 6 backup linebackers for the Cleveland Browns are undrafted free agents. This is their opportunity tonight to show they belong in the NFL and to be a part of the Cleveland Browns. And
that's what Coach Shurmur told his team on Thursday. He said, look, even if you don't make our team, you better play like your heart out because you got to make a film for another team. So that's what some of these undrafted young guys are trying to accomplish here. Right now, 3rd and 5 for Green Bay. 8:30 to go, first half. Flynn over the middle, and it is caught by Cobb. What a catch by Randall Cobb, the 2nd-round pick out of Kentucky.
Nice job of the Packers seeing the blitz, picking off the blitz off the slot. Matt Flynn stays in there, solid in the pocket, makes a nice throw and catch.
And good coverage on that play by D'Angelo Smith, but it still goes for 13 yards and a Green Bay first down. 1st and 10. Kuhn, the lone man in the backfield.
Same blitz off the slot again.
Screen couldn't wrap him up, and Kuhn pushes forward for a couple.
That's the perfectly called defense by Dick Duran. They're running the ball right into the blitz, right off the slot. You need to be able to make that play when you come unblocked like that, Buster.
Thanks for the help.
Marcus Bernard in on the stop for the Browns. Second and 6. Browns lead it 14-7. Motion man is DJ Williams, a rookie out of Arkansas. It's a handoff to Nance. Slips one tackle, but not much else doing. Good push by the Browns team. So it is Brown again.
A lot has been made about the switch from the 3-4 defense to the 4-3. In the first quarter and a half, the front 7 has certainly held their own against the defending Super Bowl champs.
So 3rd and 5 for Green Bay. Three receivers, and Nance now joins them on the outside.
This just looks like a blitz.
Flynn has time, throws over the middle. It's broken up by Ramsey Robinson again. Well, here's one of those guys trying to make the team, signed as a free agent in January, and a couple of nice plays on that drive.
Yeah, Matt Flynn gets nervous with pressure coming. They bail out of it on the left side, blitz from the right side, and Matt Flynn just doesn't get his feet set and make a good solid throw.
So now a 31-yard field goal try for Mason Crosby. Played in every game the last 4 years. This one is up, and it is good. So the Browns hold the Packers to a field goal, and with 6:18 to go in the second quarter, it's Cleveland 14, Green Bay 10 on Channel 3. What a beautiful shot, high top Cleveland, and you're looking at it courtesy of Goodyear. Everything Goodyear has learned, making tires for superior performance, inspires what they roll into yours. Goodyear, more driven.
Boy, beautiful look at Jacobs Field and Brown Stadium. Got two big games going on tonight.
Indians hosting the Twins. And we got the Browns and Packers here. Preseason game number 1. We'll be back with you on Friday when the Browns host the Detroit Lions. 7 o'clock pregame, 7:30 kickoff right here on Channel 3. Back deep for the Browns, Armand Smith. Takes this one from way out of the back of the end zone. Penalty flag on the play, and Smith gets up to the 20-yard line. Walt Coleman in his 23rd year in the NFL.
Holding, number 44, during the return, 10-yard penalty, first down.
That's Tyler Klutz, first-year player out of Fresno State for the Browns, played in the UFL a year ago. We'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll take a look at Seneca Wallace for the first time right after this. Time now for tonight's trivia question, brought to you by McDonald's. I'm loving it. Who scored the first Browns rushing touchdown after the team returned in 1999? It's a good question. We'll bring you the answer in the second half. Colt McCoy's night is over. 9 of 10, 135 yards and a touchdown. Not too shabby. Seneca Wallace has some big shoes to fill. He's in there right now. 1st and 10 on his own 10-yard line. Throwing right out of the gate to Demetrius Williams, and he's tackled immediately at the 14-yard line.
Most of the second-teamers in for both teams.
Seneca Wallace, a 4th-round pick in 2003 by Mike Holmgren out in Seattle. 2nd year with the Browns, made 4 starts a year ago. 4 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. We'll give to Armand Smith. Check that, it's Brandon Jackson, the former Packer, is in there in the backfield. And that was one of the big moves the Browns made in this condensed offseason, bringing in Brandon Jackson, who won the Super Bowl last year with the Packers, 2-year, $4.5 million contract. And the big plus about Jackson is he's familiar with this system, Bernie. He's been able to pick it up real quick since arriving in Berea.
Yeah, a lot of the terminology that the Green Bay Packers use from the West Coast system is the new system that Coach Shermer's putting in here with Cleveland.
Wallace in the shotgun on 3rd and 3. Dumps it off to Jackson. Nice catch out of the backfield, and he's got a Cleveland first down. And that is one of the positives of Brandon Jackson. He can really catch the ball out of the backfield.
Nice job. This is a pick play. Demetrius Williams comes down real flat down the line of scrimmage. Makes the DB go over the top who's covering Brandon Jackson on 3rd and short like that, knowing that there's a high tendency for man coverage. You see a lot of those pick plays in the NFL.
He had 43 catches last year as a 3rd down back and 110 over the past 4 seasons. He goes in motion here on 1st and 10. Wallace rolling out, has some room to run. Across the 30, he's got another first down. Seneca Wallace. Now keep in mind, Wallace played this West Coast offense in Seattle under Holmgren. So he's very familiar with what Pat Shermer's bringing in here this year.
Here we are moving the pocket again, like we've talked about that Coach Shermer's going to like to implement within the Browns system this year. getting outside the pocket, getting outside the tackle box, putting the quarterbacks on the move. Seneca Wallace looks real comfortable doing that.
11-yard pickup for Wallace, another first down for the Browns. They go back to Jackson. Trying to get around one guy. Fights to the outside and pick up of a couple on the play for Jackson. You know, one of the keys with this new terminology, Bernie, is that Coach Shermer has some holdover coaches from last year. And as he told us yesterday in our production meeting, he's been able to tell the coaches what his terminology is, and they almost translate it to the players so they know what it is from last year. And that's been a big part of how Shermer has installed his offense.
Yeah, especially with the offensive line, being able to kind of identify what things look like in the past.
2nd and 8. Wallace to throw. Over the middle, and nearly an acrobatic catch by Evan Moore. But at 6'6", that one was just a little too high for Evan Moore. Let's take a look at some of those holdover coaches. And the one guy that, as you said, Bernie, has been key on the offensive line is George Warhop, who's been able to tell his linemen what the terminology is that Shermer has and compare it to what they used last year under Eric Mancini.
Well, in the first quarter and a half, Coach Warhop's had a very good success rate. That again was that double A gap blitz, and the 3 times now that they've used it, both the first team and second team line have done a fantastic job of picking it up.
3rd and 8 for the Browns. Little in motion. Wallace looking for Little. He's got him right at the first down marker. That's going to be close. But again, the Browns trying to force it to their 2nd round pick.
Nice job of Greg Little trying to find the soft part in the zone here, drifting away from the inside backer in coverage, getting just enough for a first down.
Browns move the chains, 1st and 10. Brandon Jackson met in the backfield, stays on his feet, and he gets back to the line of scrimmage. That was Jarius Wynn who flew in the backfield for Green Bay.
It's hard to believe you're saying a nice job on just a 1-yard gain, but breaks 2 tackles so he doesn't end up losing 3 yards.
Jackson and Usama Young were the 2 moves that GM Tom Heckert made in this condensed offseason that were his biggest moves. Young not playing tonight with a hamstring injury. We're seeing a steady dose of Jackson on this drive for the Browns. 2nd and 9. With 2:20 to go in the first half. Wallace pump fakes, now throws down the sideline, intended for Little, and it's incomplete. Double coverage on the play by the Packers. It'll bring up 3rd and 9.
I think that's one of the players you got to give the defense the kind of the credit there. Not expecting double coverage outside. Most of the night we've been talking, you've been hearing me talk a lot about man coverage, one-on-one outside. Not that time. Something maybe Seneca could want to go to a secondary read and look for a check down in the middle of the field where there wasn't a double coverage.
3rd down and 9.
Real soft zone. Only rushing 3.
Wallace steps up, has plenty of time, throws to Evan Moore, caught at the 50, and he's tackled there by Pat Lee. And that'll be short of a first down, and the Browns will be forced to punt, although that play will take us to the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes to go in the first half. Cleveland 14, Green Bay 10 on Channel 3. 14-10, Cleveland on top of Green Bay. The 2-minute warning here in the first half. Browns fans, buy your single game tickets now. The Bengals and Steelers games are already sold out, but club seats are still available. You can get great seats to other key matchups and grab your tickets before it becomes too late. For more information on all Browns tickets, give them a call, 440-824-3434, or visit clevelandbrowns.com. Nice crowd on hand tonight. I went for a walk around the stadium around 1 o'clock, and they were already tailgating. They are so happy to have their football back in Cleveland.
Yep, some of the hardcore guys were well into their tailgate party by then.
Richmond McGee will kick it away for the Browns. Back deep is Shaky Smithson. kick by McGee. Smithson at the 9. Juggles it, hangs on, going laterally and not going anywhere. Oh, Marisik down there on the tackle for the Browns, the rookie out of Stanford. 1:49 to go. 14-10 Browns.
Get well, Jimmy D! We miss you! Go
Absolutely. Best wishes go out to Jim Donovan. We know he's watching at home. Jim, get better soon. We hope to have you back here at Cleveland Browns Stadium as soon as possible. 1st and 10 for the Packers. Flynn, flushed out of the pocket, brought down from behind. And that is Marcus Bernard getting back there to bring him down.
A lot of talk during the first 2 weeks of training camp. A lot of talk about Marcus Bernard maybe coming into camp too heavy. He put on 20 pounds thinking with the 4-3 defense he's going to need to be heavier. Coach Duran and Coach Shermer quickly ended that because they think he lost some of his speed. So he's now on a weight loss program. It seems to be working.
And that was one of the problems with the lockout, is there was no communication between the coaches and players. So the coaches couldn't relay to him, hey, don't put on that weight. We want to keep you slim. He shows up and they said, hey, what did you do while you were gone? Where'd you go? Well, he's trying to lose that weight now. During the walkthrough yesterday, it was a hot day, and he was in sweatpants out there trying to sweat some of it off. Flynn chased again and just throws it away.
He wasn't out of the pocket there.
There's no flag on the field. Let's take another look. Titus Brown coming again. He's had a big first half for the Browns. And now 3rd and 10 for Green Bay.
Browns' new front four is getting the best of the second team offensive line of the Packers right now.
Packers 2 for 5 on 3rd downs tonight. Flynn has time over the middle. It's caught. That's Randall Cobb over the middle, and a 1st down for Green Bay.
For the pressure that Matt Flynn got on the
timeout called by Green Bay.
For the pressure that Matt Flynn got on the first 2 plays, to get that same type of pressure on 3rd down, to be able to stand in there against a blitz up the middle, 5 guys coming, and then to stick it on the numbers, 18 yards downfield, then get hit. Very impressive.
Don't forget, the next Browns preseason broadcast is only 6 days away. On Friday, as the Browns host the Detroit Lions. Pregame starts at 7, kickoff at 7:30. Browns and Lions Friday, only on Channel 3. The Lions destroyed the Bengals last night in their preseason opener.
Healthy Matthew Stafford makes all the difference for them.
They're going to have some offensive weapons when they come in here. Passes caught by Tory Gurley, and he runs out of bounds, and that's close to another Green Bay 1st down.
Nice little play call to get 10 yards. Ramsey Robinson really should be making that tackle, though, not letting him get outside leverage, losing outside contain, and letting him get out of bounds to stop the clock like that.
Gurley, a rookie out of South Carolina, had a school record 14 catches in 1 game last year against Vanderbilt. Motion man here is DJ Williams.
We have man coverage on both outside receivers.
Flynn has Cobb again. He's dangerous in the open field, and finally brought down by Ray Ventrone, but a big pickup for Randall Cobb and the Green Bay offense.
Nice job. Nice job by Matt Flynn. Ended up having one-on-one coverage on all 3 receivers. Cobb cutting across the middle, comes clean. A little miscommunication in the Browns' defensive secondary.
52 seconds to go in the first half. Flynn dumps it off underneath. And some good moves there by Brandon Sane of Ohio State. Another Green Bay 1st down.
Brandon Sane does a really nice job.
His teammates with Brian Robisky when they were Buckeyes.
Does a nice job. Eric Gordon coming over, has coverage on him. Really needs to make that tackle at the line of scrimmage. Brandon Sane ends up getting inside of him. Right here on the screen. You see Eric Gordon right here. Oops. Not what you want to do on film.
Gordon, one of those undrafted free agent rookies out of Michigan State. He's actually in Jacksonville's camp, and they cut him on August 1st, and the Browns picked him up. Tell you what, Randall Cobb. I mean, the Packers already have tremendous wide receivers. They're going to have to find a way to get this guy Cobb on the field. He's got amazing speed, and he showed it off here tonight. 1st and 10 on the 19-yard line. Flynn has it dropped. And that was intended for DeAndre Burrell, a rookie out of Utah State. He's going to want that one back.
Just the old basic double dig route to the top of the screen. Beautiful job by Matt Flynn and the offensive line, giving him plenty of time to throw. Sticks it right between the 1 and the 9 there.
The Packers have 2 timeouts remaining. Cleveland has 1. 38 seconds to go in the 2nd quarter.
It's a pressure looking defense. Definitely man coverage outside. Matt Flynn sees it. Giving signal to the bottom of your screen.
He's looking right back at Burrell. This time he's got it inside the 5-yard line. Working on Ramsey Robinson, and the Packers have it 1st and goal.
You can just see it plain as day from whether you're up here in the stands or behind the center like Matt Flynn. Nice job of pre-reading the blitz, throwing the back fade to the bottom. You can see him give that signal. Perfect throw and catch, gets out of bounds. Everything you want to see offensively.
1st and goal from the 3, and the Packers spread it out. Flynn throws end zone, broken up and then caught. Touchdown Green Bay. Wacky play there as Spencer Havener ends up with it.
That's why you go to pregame mass in chapel for breaks like that.
Take another look at this one.
This is fantastic defense in the slot by Ramsey Robinson, getting his hand on it. Very fortunate play by Green Bay.
Robinson made a good play. Unlucky that time for the Browns on defense. And they now trail 16-14. Crosby on for the extra point. And the kick is good. Spencer Havener into the end zone. A converted linebacker, his 3rd year out of UCLA. Caught 4 touchdowns for the Packers in 2009. And the Packers have some solid tight ends that they're going to have to sort through, just like the Browns. And Bernie, look at the Browns offense. You talk about their strengths. To me, it's the offensive line and the tight ends. These are both big parts of the Browns offense this year.
Yeah, absolutely. And in the first half, I think that's really showed itself. The offensive line to pick up the blitzes as solidly as they have, and to make it look so easy. And then the big plays, besides Colton and Josh Cribbs, is the tight ends with Ben Watson on the corner route, Ben Watson on the seam up the middle to the 5-yard line, Evan Moore with a couple of catches.
Tony Pashos said he thinks, and you see number 79 there, Pashos, that this team has the potential to be the best offensive line in the league. And McCoy echoed those thoughts, saying that our offensive line is the strong part of our offense. And certainly they have a lot to smile about after what they did here tonight against the Packers. Armand Smith in his own end zone. Takes it out at the 15 and up to the 20-yard line. And that's where the Browns offense will come on the field with 21 seconds to go in the 1st half.
I don't think from the sideline cuts we've had since Colts come out of the game, I don't think that smile has left his face yet.
And why would it? 9 of 10 for McCoy, including that touchdown. And that's what Mike Holmgren wanted to see when he joined us on his pregame show. And you see that first-team offense move down the field. Well, they did just that a couple of times.
This is preseason, so that may give Seneca some work, but I think in a regular season we'd be taking it easy right now.
Prevent defense for the Packers. Wallace steps up, wants to throw one, and it's caught at the 40.
Quick timeout.
It's Demetrius Williams who has it. And the Browns use their final timeout.
Nice job by Seneca, buying time. Very nice touch. Close call, getting the ball over the slot defender's arm to Demetrius Williams.
Williams is a former 4th-round pick by the Ravens. They got rid of him last September, and the Browns picked him up in October of 2010, and Williams ended up playing 2 games under Eric Mangini.
May see a little 10-yard out or something here to get the ball into Hail Mary range. That's what they're trying.
Back in Williams' direction, but it's broken up, incomplete. And with 6 seconds left on the clock, this could be the final play of the first half. Don't go anywhere before halftime begins. We will hear from head coach Pat Shurmur down in the field. Dave Chudowski will chase him down. We'll have the coach's thoughts on the first half of play coming up in just a matter of moments. Wallace back in the shotgun formation. They stack 3 receivers to the right. Wallace gets out of the pressure and he's going to air it out down around the 10-yard line, and it's juggled and then incomplete. And there are zeros on the clock, and that ends the first half of play. And Bernie, what a first half it was for the Cleveland offense.
I think it'll make Dave getting Coach Shurmur's interview a lot easier with the way the first team offense played.
Seneca Wallace should return for at least the 3rd quarter, and then maybe we'll see Jarrett Brown at quarterback in the 4th quarter for the Browns. And you see Seneca, and the Browns have a lot to be happy about after a very successful first half of play, especially on offense. And standing by with Dave Chudowski is the head coach Pat Shurmur. Guys?
Hey, thanks a lot, Coach. 2 very encouraging drives by the Browns' first-team offense, 2 touchdowns. How encouraged are you to see that against the defending champions?
Well, it was a good start. You know, I think there was some good football there. We made some mistakes, which I anticipated would happen. First time being out here together. I wish we could have stopped them there at the end, so we went in with the lead. But really what's great about this in these preseason games is to go through the situation. So then we had a chance there to try to work it back down the field. So, they're playing hard. We got a long way to go, but there's some things in this first half that happened that we can build on. And so we'll go in there and make some corrections, come back out and play the second half.
Your thoughts on Colt McCoy in the first half?
I thought he was pretty sharp. I thought he executed well. He was pretty efficient with his throws. He worked us down the field twice, and that's the mark of a quarterback, getting you in the end zone.
Last question. You said coming into this game you wanted to see what you had. What do you feel you have after 1 half?
Well, we got 1 half better. I think there's a lot of guys out here fighting, and we've got a long way to go before we're going to be a real good football team. So we're going to build on this, and again, do our halftime adjustments and come on out swinging.
Coach, thanks a lot for the time. Have a good second half. All right, Andrew, Bernie, back up to you. There's Coach Shurmur on the first half and that impressive scoring drives by the Browns.
Thank you, Dave, for your Dodge sideline report. Visit Dodge.com or your local dealer today. And Coach Shurmur's demeanor really doesn't change, but you can tell he's happy from what he saw from Colt McCoy in the offense. 17-14 Green Bay at the half. We'll come back with the halftime report next on Channel 3. Welcome back to Cleveland Browns Stadium. We are set for the second half kickoff at the break. Green Bay 17, Cleveland 14. Mason Crosby set to kick it away for Green Bay, and back deep for the Browns is James Dockery, another one of these young defensive backs that has really impressed the Cleveland coaching staff. Dockery getting a chance here on kickoffs at the 10-yard line, slips through a tackle and gets up to the 15, and that's where the Cleveland offense will take over. Well, let's take a look at tonight's Pro Football Hall of Fame spotlight. It is Paul Brown, enshrined in 1967, the Browns head coach from 46 to 62. And how about that overall record? 222 wins for the great Paul Brown. Come to the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton to honor, preserve, educate, and promote. First and 10 for the Browns. They give it to Brandon Jackson. Cuts back to the right at the 20 and forces his way up for a 9-yard pickup. So again, Bernie, we've seen Jackson, after the initial contact, keep on going and pick up positive yardage.
Exactly right. You know, 2 quarters in one play doesn't make for a successful season, but right now I get excited about thinking of Peyton Hillis and Brandon Jackson and how they complement and play off each other and provide different signs of duress for a different defense.
He talked about how he's excited about downhill running in this West Coast offense, and we've seen some of that from Jackson tonight. Wallace rolls out and throws, caught by Jordan Norwood, who stays in bounds and picks up a Cleveland first down.
Straight man coverage across the board here. Again, you see Coach Shermer moving the pocket, getting Seneca Wallace outside the pocket. Just a little snag route by Jordan Norwood, faking like a crossing route and bouncing back outside.
16-yard pickup for Norwood, and General Manager Tom Eckert had some very nice things to say about Norwood when camp began. He said, "We think Norwood's a player. We're counting on him this year." And Norwood makes him look good right there. Jackson doesn't do much on 1st and 10. There's a big spot here for the 2nd and 3rd offensive linemen. Coach Shermer told us he's looking for a swing tackle, a guy that can play tackle and guard. There's a couple of guys in that mix. Again, the Browns' offensive line, the starters are set. Plugging in those holes behind them are still open for competition, and that's what the coaches are looking for here, led by George Warhop. Wallace flushed out of the pocket, gets it away. It's caught by Williams, and another Cleveland first down.
Protection breaks down. That wasn't a design get out of outside the pocket play. Seneca Wallace just uses his experience and his athleticism to scramble outside the pocket and find Demetrius Williams, who's having a nice game so far tonight.
They mark it just short of that first down marker. 3rd and inches for the Browns at their own 47-yard line. Underway here in the second half. Cleveland trails 17-14. Jackson goes in motion. Wallace will throw on 3rd and short. He's got it complete. That's Norwood again, and that's another Cleveland first down.
Nice play call. Motion into the empty backfield. Nobody behind him. It's either going to be a quarterback sneak or, in most likelihood, a little scramble, throw it out to the flat. Jordan Norwood, who's been talked about at length tonight, about having a nice camp, having a chance to make plays in the slot, and the perfect example is right there.
Norwood stays in on 1st and 10. Jackson running left. And Jackson continues to pick up positive yardage for the Browns. Don't look for many defensive substitutions in the secondary for the Packers. They are playing short-handed tonight at cornerback. They only have 4 healthy corners. One of them is Tremont Williams, who's a starter, so he's not playing. So really, the Packers are going the rest of the way with 3 corners. Charles Woodson, the Fremont, Ohio native, did not dress tonight. Veteran management, no real specific injury. The Packers are just trying to keep him healthy here in the preseason as Jackson pushes forward for another Browns first down.
Yeah, when you're coming off a Super Bowl ring championship like the Packers are, you have 14 years in the league. I think Charles Woodson deserves a hall pass for the first preseason game.
And he's getting one, no doubt about that. The Packers have their first home preseason game next week against the Arizona Cardinals. 5-yard pickup for Jackson. It's 1st and 10, 11:30 to go in the 3rd quarter. Play action, Wallace has plenty of time. Now chased away, running right, stays in bounds and is able to salvage something from that play.
Again, Seneca Wallace showing his athleticism and his ability to be patient. This is a pocket pass, play action, downfield throw. Protection breaks down. He just does a nice job of scrambling outside the pocket and making a positive play. Instead of taking that 1st and 10 sack, he kits it down to 2nd and 8.
Brandon Jackson caught at the line. Getting back there was Vic Sootu for the Packers. Wallace said he got in great shape during the lockout, Bernie, and part of the reason why he was able to lose some weight and get trim as he hired a personal chef, which is nice to be able to do that. And Wallace said it really made a big difference that he was able to eat all this good food, work out, and he said he came into camp in great condition because he stayed healthy and he ate well.
Yeah, it's funny how a new coach and a new system and a new chance to prove yourself goes hand in hand with some new off-season techniques to stay in the league.
Pass is caught by the rookie Jordan Cameron. First time that Cameron has caught a ball tonight. Another part of the big part of this tight end crew that Pat Shurmur has. That'll be a strength for the Browns, no doubt about it.
4th round pick, ex-basketball player, started out camp really well. Pulled a hamstring, been slowed in the last week. Nice to see him be able to get out on the field and make some plays.
Played at USC. He was phenomenal at the combine before the draft. Among tight ends, he was second fastest and the second best vertical leap. He was the only tight end to finish in the top 5 of every drill. Jeff Wolford getting a chance to kick a field goal, a 46-yard try, and the kick is good. Jeff Wolford, a former walk-on at Missouri, in camp with the Browns, giving Phil Dawson a bit of a break, and Wolford connects to tie the game at 17. We're back after this.
Back with you on the sideline, 17-17, Browns and Packers. I just talked with Browns president Mike Holmgren about the first half. He was pleased. He said offensively it went as they hoped it would go. They moved the ball. Now in the second half, it's all about seeing how these young players will respond. Andrew, Bernie, back up to you.
Thank you, Dave, for that Dodge sideline report. Visit Dodge.com or your local dealer today. Now, a lot of smiles around Brownsland right now. Mike Holmgren, one of them. And now Jeff Wolford will kick off. Spent 2010 with Omaha of the UFL. And getting a chance to get some tape here in the preseason with Phil Dawson, the incumbent. Jakey Smithson takes it out of his own end zone. Smithson across the 15 and brought down at the 17-yard line. 10:04 to go, third quarter. Green Bay and Cleveland tied at 17. Good stuff, Bernie. 10:04 to go, third quarter, and a new Packer quarterback is Graham Harrell out of Texas Tech. Just put up incredible college numbers in that Texas Tech offense. And Matt Flynn, the backup, is in the final year of his contract, so if Flynn moves on, this is Harrell's chance to show if he can be the backup to Aaron Rodgers going forward.
You know, Graham Harrell made a brief stop in Cleveland too, post his Texas Tech days. Didn't last here very long.
Attended rookie camp in 2009 and 2010. First in NCAA history with 134 touchdowns. They threw every play, but still, he's got a great arm. Misfired on first down, 2nd and 10. Brandon Shane takes the handoff and pushes across the 20-yard line. Former Buckeye picks up a few.
You know, in these preseason games, especially in the second half, you tend to get teams where if they take a shot, go downfield on first down. In the coaching handbook, it says on 2nd and 10, run the ball to get it in 3rd and manageable. That's what you see the Packers do on 2nd and 10, run the ball for 5, get it in that 3rd and 5 range instead of having a 3rd and long or 3rd and 10.
Harrell spreads him out. And the motion man is DJ Williams, a rookie out of Arkansas, the John Mackey Award winner last year.
He's going to have man coverage outside again.
Harrell throws, and it's caught by West, and that's a Green Bay first down. Chaston West out of Fresno State. 7-yard pickup, and the tackle made by D'Angelo Smith.
Very nice job of Graham Harrell. He read the man coverage, single coverage outside, like myself. Threw the slant inside to pick up the first down on 3rd and 5.
Is there a guy out there in today's league that reminds you of the way that you played?
You see some of the guys like Tom Brady plays at another level, but his command of the offense and his audibling, that was more of a throwback type guys to the Dan Marino, Jim Kelly type days.
Good catch over the middle there by DJ Williams.
These are the type of throws that the top tier quarterbacks make. This 15 to 22 yard throw down the middle, down the seam, to the big receiver, to the big tight ends, is throws that your top tier quarterbacks making their sleep. And nice to see Graham Harrell make a play like that. When the first team guys are playing, that guy won't be as open though.
You always credit the quarterback. How about the catch, Bert?
It's hard to miss it when it hits you in the hands.
That one is incomplete. Second down and 10 for Green Bay. There's Buster's screen. Played for 4 different coordinators while he was in college. So every year, Buster was learning something new, getting told something different, looking for stability here. And if he can stick around, which he will, the way he's played, he might really flourish in one system as opposed to 4 different ones.
Man, he's showing a good amount of confidence. Not afraid to stand up and go one-on-one with the outside receivers. And he has that opportunity again now.
Harrell throws off his back foot. It's incomplete. Screen was on the coverage that time for the pass intended for DeAndre Burrell.
You see with the young quarterback there, Cleveland was only rushing 5. I think he anticipated more people coming. Didn't get set, didn't set his feet. Thought he may have been hot to his blind side, to his left. So he throws off balance, off his back foot. Makes the right read to the single receiver side, but doesn't make an accurate throw. You're going to get another chance of straight man coverage again on 3rd and 10.
5 on the play clock. Harrell over the middle. And we have a penalty flag coming in. The pass was intended for Cobb. And I think they're going to get Buster's screen.
Pass interference, number 22, defense. Ball will be placed at the spot of the foul. First down.
There's some of that aggressiveness we talked about with Buster. He picks up the coverage, plays him tight. He's just there with that left hand, a touch too early.
Automatic first down for Green Bay. 7:52 to go, 3rd quarter. Andrew Catalan, Bernie Kosar, and Dave Chudowski here with you on Channel 3.
See with the second team guys, not really mixing up the coverages. Pretty easy read for the quarterback. I guess every now and then you have to run it. I just love when it's man coverage outside and 8 or 9 guys in the box. Those running plays don't stand much of a chance of success.
Travis Ivey got in there for the Browns. Claimed off waivers from Miami a year ago. He was predominantly on the practice squad for Cleveland last year.
These are big opportunities for guys like Travis Ivey right now. 3rd quarter of the first preseason game.
2nd down and 7 for Green Bay. Harrell play action, hit from behind, ball is loose. It's scooped up by the Browns. And Cleveland has a touchdown. Titus Brown takes it all the way back after Harrell lost it. And the Browns go up 23-17.
Titus Brown's name keeps coming up a lot today. Vic Carucci tipped us off in the pregame show. One guy certainly making a mark for himself tonight.
Initial hit was made by Brian Smith, the undrafted free agent rookie out of Notre Dame, and Titus Brown took it all the way back for a touchdown. We've been talking about the undrafted rookies at linebacker, and hey, Brian Smith making a name for himself right there, getting in the backfield, forcing the fumble, and Brown does the rest. Wolford's extra point is good. 7 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. The Browns are doing it on offense and defense. They lead at 24-17. Tonight's aerial coverage spotted by Goodyear. Everything Goodyear has learned making tires for superior performance inspires what they roll into yours. Goodyear, more driven. Good crowd for a preseason game here at Cleveland Browns Stadium, and Titus Brown and the Browns are making them happy. Big touchdown return by Titus to give the Browns a 24-17 lead. Wolford will kick it away, and Shaky Smithson back deep for the Packers. He led the nation in punt return average and yards a year ago with Utah. Shaky out of his own end zone, and he gets up to close to the 20-yard line. 6:55 to go, third quarter, and the Browns have a 24-17 lead on Channel 3. Welcome back to Cleveland Browns Stadium. 6:55 to go, third quarter. The Browns lead the Packers 24-17. Yesterday, the Packers were in Washington, D.C. They got their visit at the White House, and President Obama, who's a big Bears fan, said, hey, you guys are just here to rub it in my face. Green Bay actually gave the president a share of stock, and Obama joked, all right, great, we're going to trade Aaron Rodgers to Chicago. Rodgers said, not so fast. And there you see Desmond Bishop, who was supposed to be at the White House yesterday. He was in Washington, D.C. He forgot his ID, and the Secret Service would not let him into the White House.
He's the middle linebacker from fifth year from California. I joked with Alex Mack, third year from California, if he's going to make fun of his ex-teammate for being a complete idiot and missing his one chance in a lifetime trip to the White House.
Well, I mean, he tried to play it off as to say it's extra motivation to get back there, but come on, of all the things you need to do, bring your ID.
It's not as certain. I was with the Cowboys the second year after a return trip. We didn't take the team back-to-back years.
Yeah, it's not easy to do. 6:23 to go, third quarter, 2nd and 10 for Green Bay. Brandon Sane on the carry. And that second team defense of the Browns continues to play well. Kokwe in on that stop, signed to the roster last December.
Given those one-back formations and the defense the Browns are playing, man coverage with the extra safety, the extra guy up in the box, these running plays are going to be very challenging to get big runs on them.
3rd and 7 for Graham Harrell and the Green Bay offense.
This will be a blitz man coverage again.
Harrell, and the pass is incomplete. Buster screen on the coverage. Pass was intended for Kerry Taylor, and the Packers will be forced to punt.
Solid coverage, a little close. This may have been just a shade early, a little bit of contact. You see Buster with his right hand grabbing the jersey. As an offensive guy, I'd want that called.
Screen was called earlier. Not that time, as Tim Mastay is on to punt. Second-year player out of Kentucky. And Jordan Norwood back deep for the Cleveland Browns. Norwood at his 22, backpedals to the 18, flag on the play. Norwood fields it up to the 30, trying to bounce it outside across the 35, and Norwood tackled at the 37. Wait to see what Walt Coleman has. Flag came while the ball was in the air, and it looked like the umpire was looking at the Gunners coming down on the sideline.
Unsportsmanlike conduct on the kicking team. Number 17 went out of bounds and did not return immediately. It's a 15-yard penalty. First down.
So that goes against Green Bay and Antonio Robinson, first-year player out of Nicholls State.
I see a lot of emphasis on that play with the Gunners. Last year, much was made of this kind of sideline demeanor when the Gunners are running down out of bounds. Some teams actually lined up guys to make it increasingly more challenging for those Gunners. So now the league wants to get, if they're forced out of bounds, wants them immediately to attempt to get back in the field of play, not just run down out of bounds and clear the blockers.
5:20 to go, third quarter. The Browns will have it on offense when we come back. Well, let's take a look at the quarterback stats brought to you by Lincoln. It's not just luxury, it's smarter than that. Feel smarter at Lincoln.com. Well, Colt McCoy, 9 for 10, 135 yards and a touchdown. And Seneca Wallace has been equally impressive, or pretty darn good if you want to say that, as opposed to McCoy, who was just absolutely excellent. Not much for the Browns to complain about at the quarterback position tonight. Wallace throwing deep on first down, and it's incomplete. Intended for Jonathan Haggerty.
Veteran move by Seneca Wallace, and also realizing this may be one of his last drives. Has man bump coverage outside, trying to get a nice big play down the sideline.
Coverage by Pat Lee, who has played almost this entire night. As we told you earlier, the Packers are very thin at cornerback tonight. 2nd and 10 for Wallace. He's going to give it to Quinn Porter, who spins away from the tackle, tries to bounce it outside across the 45 and down at the 44-yard line. Quinn Porter, a first-year player out of Stillman. He actually started with the Packers and signed to the Browns practice squad in November.
Yeah, Coach Shermer yesterday was talking about the young running backs. He's not always sure where they're going to end up, but he does love their speed and athleticism.
Yeah, he mentioned Porter's speed and his vision. He said he's dangerous when he gets in the second level. They have some fast backup running backs. Armand Smith, another one with great speed. 4.5 to go, third quarter. Wallace gets rid of it quickly to Norwood, has some room, stays on his feet, he's got a first down and more. Cut back move at the 30, and Norwood down at the 27-yard line. Jordan Norwood sparkling for the Browns.
Just a blown coverage on the blitz by the Packers.
16-yard pickup for Norwood.
Seneca's going to get man coverage again.
We go back to Porter, and he is stopped at the line by DJ Smith, the rookie out of Appalachian State.
Same thing goes for the Browns offense as we talked about with the Packers offense. When you get that man coverage outside, that means the safety is coming up inside the box, and those running plays are going to be very challenging to get any productive yards out of them.
Second and 11 for the Browns. Wallace fakes the handoff, floats one for Norwood. It's intercepted. Intercepted by M.D. Jennings, a rookie who played his college ball at Arkansas State, and that one got away from Seneca a little bit.
Yeah, this one sailed on him. He'd love to have this back. If he fires this on a line, he's got him coming out the backside behind the middle linebacker. Floats it, it sails on him. Free safety comes up and makes the play.
Really one of the first mistakes of the night for the Cleveland offense, and Green Bay will take over deep in its own territory. M.D. Jennings, first team All Sun Belt Conference last year with 3 interceptions. He's another one of these undrafted rookies who's got a tall task to try to make this deep Packers team, but that'll certainly help him when the coaches look at the film. Packers keep it on the ground on first down to Brandon Sane. Good news across town, Bernie, or really just a few blocks away. Indians win 3-1, beating the Minnesota Twins.
Would it be too much to ask if Detroit lost tonight so we can get down to, I think, 2 games behind?
Yeah, that will be a lot to ask the way that they've been pitching. Obviously, the Tribe got 2 out of 3 this week, but Verlander is tough to stop. 2nd and 6 for Green Bay. Harrell throws, and it's incomplete. That's James Dockery on the coverage. Packers almost came down with that one, but Dockery was able to fight through.
James Dockery's been a name that's been talked about a lot through the first 2 weeks of training camp, making quite a few big plays in the secondary. He's on an island out here. This is fantastic coverage to play that tight on the comeback back shoulder fade throw there.
He says, I know my back is against the wall as an undrafted rookie. And he said, I'm having fun being here. Where else would I want to be? I'm 22 years old. This is a great summer camp, Dockery said. Packers are 4 for 8 on third downs.
Man coverage outside again.
Harrell throws incomplete, and once again, the Browns force a punt. And this second-team defense for Cleveland has really impressed tonight.
Both quarterbacks are getting a steady diet of the same coverage. Graham Harrell needs to be just a shade more patient in the pocket, do those crossing routes versus man coverage. Give him another split second to let it clear out the backside and declare itself.
Masted a punt, and the man we were just talking about, Dockery, getting a chance to return the punt. With 2:32 to go in the third quarter. Dockery drifts over and catches it at the 25-yard line. Now goes backward to the 20, back to the 25, and tackled out of bounds at the 29-yard line. And the tackle made by Anthony Bratton. 1st and 10 for the Cleveland offense. And Seneca Wallace comes back out. At some point tonight, we do expect to see Jarrett Brown, the big arm first-year quarterback out of West Virginia.
I think Coach Shermer, if that last drive for Seneca Wallace would have been positively ended, that may have been his last drive, but probably not wanting his backup quarterback to end on a pick like that. Give him one more opportunity to finish the night out.
Smith and Klutz in the backfield for Cleveland.
The secondary is real tight for...
Wallace is sacked. Never saw it coming from behind. That's Josh Gordy, a practice squad player a year ago, and he just flies in untouched for the sack.
Yeah, big tip. When the secondary is that tight, the safeties, both safeties at less than 8 yards, good chance there's going to be defensive back pressure. You got the corner blitz to the backside of play action there. Really tough for the quarterback to see the corner coming, but you got to pre-read it by seeing the tip of the weak safety, strong safety, walking up into the box, lined up at 6 or 7 yards.
8-yard loss for the Browns, 2nd and 18. Armon Smith, one of the guys that we were talking about that has a lot of speed right up the gut. And he picks up about 6 on the play. 3rd and long for Cleveland. Smith out of Union College in Kentucky. Averaged 125 yards rushing per game last year. And this is what Shermer got us laughing yesterday, Bernie. He said, this Armon Smith guy's really fast. He makes a lot of mistakes, but at least when he makes the mistakes, he's going 5,000 miles an hour.
He makes them at full speed.
3rd and 12. Minute 10 to go, third quarter.
Just rushing 3. Should be at plenty of time.
Wallace dumps it off for Klutz. And Klutz up to the 33-yard line. Cleveland will have to punt.
When you play that coverage, dropping 8 guys in, only rushing 3 on 3rd and probably 12 or 13 yards with a 7-point lead, being a veteran quarterback, probably don't want to over-force it down the field to try to stick it in there and possibly make a mistake. Just keep the clock moving, pick up 5 or 6 yards, live to fight another day.
Richmond McGee to punt for the Browns and back deep. DeAndre Burrell, and a good punt by McGee. Inside the 10, Burrell takes it. Running to his right. Browns trying to chase him down, and Burrell eludes the tackle down the sideline and out of bounds at the 33-yard line. All right, it's time for tonight's trivia. Brought to you by McDonald's. I'm loving it. We gave you the question in the first half. Who scored the first Browns rushing touchdown after the team returned in 1999? Trick question. Phil Dawson on a fake field goal. You see it here against the Bengals. Phil Dawson, the first rushing touchdown for the Browns in 1999.
That's why I didn't want to give it away. I knew the trick question, and Phil's the only guy been here 13 years.
Entire career with the Browns out of Texas. He didn't think he was going to come back this year. He really thought that when last season ended, that would be it. He would move on. The Browns slapped the franchise tender on him, and Dawson is here, 1 year, $3.25 million contract. And he said he's excited to be back. And that's the end of the third quarter. Big play by the Browns defense in that third quarter. Titus Brown taking it back for a touchdown. And at the end of 3, it's Cleveland 24, Green Bay 17 on Channel 3. Here's your fan cam brought to you by Mazda, engineered for the few who care about what they drive and the way it makes them feel. Because if it's not worth driving, it's not worth building. These fans were out here early today, ready for football after so many people feared there would not be football this year rather. I think a lot of people really excited, more so than usual, for the preseason, knowing we almost did not have football.
I know I'm excited.
Me too, Bernie. Harrell rolling right, throws, and it's complete. That's complete to the tight end, Ryan Taylor, a rookie out of North Carolina, 7th-round draft pick.
We've been talking about the depth of the tight ends on the Browns. Green Bay's definitely got some strength at the tight end position. Again, similar offensive schemes, and Green Bay, like the Browns, want to get the quarterback, especially with some of the reserves, and get him outside the pocket, try to create some mismatches one-on-one outside.
We've seen a lot of their tight ends tonight. One guy we haven't seen is Jermichael Finley, who's their best tight end. He's their starter. He missed a bunch of games last year. Only played 5 games last year. It was another completion by Harrell to Kerry Taylor. Finley had a knee injury, then post-surgical infection. It was a long rehab, but he's slowly making his way back, and he'll be another weapon for Aaron Rodgers once he's healthy. Kerry Taylor, who made that catch, the nephew, the former 49ers wide receiver John Taylor. 14-yard pickup for Taylor. 1st and 10 for Green Bay. Ball on the 33-yard line. 4th quarter, Browns lead 24-17. They go back to Shane on the ground. He showed some strength here tonight. 5'11", 220 pounds. Had 17 touchdowns in his career at Ohio State.
He's getting a lot of good reps tonight. He was the undrafted free agent. They took the young back from Hawaii, I think, in the 3rd round. It's a little surprising that Brandon Sane is getting more carries tonight. Doing a nice job with the opportunity.
Alex Green, the guy they took out of Hawaii, he suffered a quad injury on Thursday. He is dressed tonight, but we haven't seen Green. Harrell trying to get rid of it. Good pressure in the backfield. They have a flag on the play. That was Brian Sanford getting back there to apply the pressure on Harrell.
Travis Ivey grabbed the back coming out on the screen play. Looks like they may pick it up. May have gotten away with one.
Here's Walt.
The eligible player downfield prior to the pass, number 56 of the offense. 5-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
Walt Coleman gets it on Samson Genus, a rookie out of South Florida. First team All Big East.
Very fortunate there. Partly why he was downfield was a screen play. Travis Ivey, number 94, grabbed the back, disrupted the timing of the screen, which made Graham Harrell double clutch it and throw it about a half-second late. The lineman went downfield on the timing play.
So 2nd and 9 now for Green Bay, and Harrell's in the shotgun. 3-receiver set. Looking left, throws that way, and it's almost intercepted. Penalty flags on the play. That was Darian Hagan, an undrafted free agent rookie out of Cal. And it could be offensive pass interference.
Very smart play by Darian Hagan. I think that's definitely offensive pass interference.
He had a good look at that ball.
Pass interference, number 9, offense. 10-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
Good call there.
Very rare you see an undrafted free agent show this veteran moxie. Been talking all night about Green Bay hitting the backside fade off of press coverage, throwing it to the back shoulder at about 18 yards. Darian Hagan anticipates it and jumps the route. Really makes a nice play and could have had the interception.
Hagan played his college ball at Cal. 2nd and 19 for Green Bay. They're pushed back all the way to the 42-yard line. Harrell again feeling the pressure, loses the football. Green Bay recovers, but great pressure by the Browns front. Kokwe was in there, and also Brian Sanford again.
Been Been talking a lot tonight about man coverage. This was too deep zone. Just 4 guys rushing. Horrible job by the offensive line. It looks like significantly more. Graham Harrell's under extreme duress. Not much he could do there. Well, he'd like to hold on to the ball.
Now 3rd and a mile, as that's the 4th sack of the night for the Browns. 3rd and 29. Harrell throws, it's complete, but well short of the first down. Torrey Gurley brought that one in, but the Packers will have to punt. And again, the Browns defense doing a nice job tonight.
3rd and 30, basically. I think Green Bay put up the white flag and surrendered with that play call.
Maste is on. And Dockery back deep with 11:35 to go in the 4th quarter. It could be Jared Brown time here, Bernie. We might see the 3rd string quarterback come in, as we have a whistle before that punt got off.
False start, number 46, offense, 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
Drew, I think that's a very good call. It's about time to see him. He's been lighting it up in practice. There's no substitute for live game experience for a young quarterback.
Everyone's been raving about Jarrett Brown. Shermer called him a pleasant surprise. Strong arm. Last summer he was at the 49ers training camp, and he's getting a long, hard look here as the Browns' 3rd quarterback. Good punt by Maste, bounces at the 7, and that's where Green Bay will down it, and Cleveland will take over deep in its own territory. 11:05 to go, 4th quarter. And there he is, number 3, Jarrett Brown. We'll see him when we come back. Let's take a look at tonight's Rookie Watch, brought to you by American Family Insurance. Your dream is out there. Go get it. We'll protect it. Find out more. amfam.com/dreams. Greg Little, 2 catches for 20 yards. He was active on that first drive with Colt McCoy. And defensively, James Dockery has done some nice things on special teams as well, with a 22-yard kickoff return. Little and Norwood on the sidelines now. And Jared Brown has come in under center for the Browns, and he's starting on his own 3-yard line. They run it and try to get a little breathing room here. What was your first impression of Brown when you saw him in camp?
He has incredible physical gifts and size, and when you see him, you expected him to maybe not stand out as much, and to see him make that arm shot, to make the outside throws with pretty good timing. Again, I'm very interested to see with it live, with the threat of being hit, understanding it, the game type tempo, how he handles and responds to it. Starting on the 3-yard line isn't optimal for a young quarterback, and he probably called it wrong because both receivers ended up changing sides of the field.
Gets it off with 2 on the play clock. Brown rolling out, throws, and it is intercepted. So that is picked off by Josh Gordy, and not what Jared Brown was looking to do after such an impressive performance so far in training camp.
Just a sprint right. Not a big fan of this formation. Takes away about half the field. Good defensive guys like Dom Capers' coach team will know that there tend to be outside throws like that. Just though when you're covered like that at that part of the field, you need to make it where either your offensive guy gets it or nobody gets it.
Now the Packers with great field position on the Cleveland 23, 1st and 10. I formation. Harrell gives it to Sane, running right, powers through, and crosses the 20-yard line. Tackled by Ryan Schafering.
It's a chance for Graham Harrell to make a name for himself and win some respect within the locker room. Try to get him in the end zone here.
They go back to Sane, and Austin English wraps him up. English, a first-year player out of Oklahoma, played with Hartford in the UFL, has not appeared in the NFL game. trying to do his part to make this Cleveland Browns team.
I like to see young quarterbacks, when they have a chance to make a name for themselves, make a roster spot, take advantage of the opportunity. Graham Harrell looks like he has a good job of reading the defenses. Needs to be aggressive down the field to the right players. He's going to have man coverage again outside.
On 3rd and 4, Harrell looking right, throws, and it's caught. That's a catch inside the 5-yard line by Shaky Smithson. We told you before, this is a big preseason for Harrell. With Flynn in his contract here, Harrell could be the backup to Rodgers if he impresses.
Just what I'm talking about. Single coverage outside. Like to see a young quarterback take advantage of his opportunity. Can't throw and catch it any better than that. Timing's perfect. Location's perfect.
And there's Pat Shurmur's first red flag. Well, good for the coach. First time as a head coach, and he tosses the challenge flag on the field.
Challenging the leading on the field of a completed catch.
We'll take a break. They'll take a look. We'll come back with the verdict right after this. 24-17 Browns. 8:46 to go, fourth quarter, and there is quite a bit of discussion about this play that Pat Shurmur is challenged. Take another look. It is very tough to tell, Bernie.
Yeah, even in the booth, I think we're a little hesitant. That initially, I thought for sure it was a beautiful throw and catch. Now I'm debating, did the tip of the ball barely hit the grass, or was he juggling it as his shoulder hit out of bounds?
Here's Walt
After
Coleman.
reviewing the play, the ball hit the ground out of bounds. It's an incomplete pass. It'll be 4th and 4 at the 17-yard line. Cleveland will not be charged a timeout.
Pat Shurmur betting 1,000 in challenges in his head coaching career. He's 1 for 1.
Walt Coleman, our referee, agreed with him.
Good call by the coach. That's another part of being a head coach that he has to get used to. I mean, there's a lot of adjustments he has to make. That's one of them.
And lots been talked about how he's going to handle the process and procedure. Obviously, the Browns coaching staff is looking at that up in the booth here. So they quickly got the replay, analyzed it, got the word down to him. He trusts his people upstairs, and quickly that flag came out before Green Bay got off a play.
4th and 4, and Green Bay is going to go for it. Empty backfield for Harrell. He's in the shotgun. Harrell throws right to Sane. He's got it. First down, Green Bay. Harrell's fired up.
You can see the confusion in the alignment with Brandon Sane motioning out of the backfield to the empty backfield. Secondary not on the same page with the movement. Graham Harrell was able to take advantage of the miscommunication in the secondary to get a 4th down conversion.
Carl Geddes chased him out of bounds for the Browns. 1st and goal for Green Bay from the 10-yard line. Back to Sane up the middle. Ivy and Sanford wrapping him up and bringing him down. On Monday, the Packers, in Mike McCarthy's eyes, did not have a very good practice. He called it sloppy. And then after the practice, he said, you know what? We look great on paper, but we're not close to where we need to be. I'm not going to throw out any bouquets. And then Aaron Rodgers responded in an Allen Iverson fashion. We're talking about practice? There's McCarthy now as the Packers try to punch this one in with Harrell.
I found that interesting and funny, but a little surprising that when you're with your quarterback, some people interpreted that as making fun of what the head coach is saying.
Number 9, offense, 5-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
And a lot of people were thinking the same thing, Bernie. And Rodgers came out and played well tonight. And in training camp, you're going to have bad practices. The concern, if you want to take a negative approach to the Packers, is are they going to become relaxed after winning the Super Bowl? Are they going to be lackadaisical? I'm not saying you're saying that, but that's what some people are talking about.
Well, in the coaching handbook, I think Coach McCarthy's right to worry about that and being a little extra hard on his guys. You don't want the complacency to set in.
Harrell to the air, and Sane, who's getting a lot of work, makes that catch, pushed out of bounds by Octavian. Another thing that the Packers have been criticized for is that Rodgers did not hold any workouts during the lockout, a la Camp Colts. Colt McCoy had 4 of them. The Packers did not have any. What do you make of these off-season workouts during the lockout? Important, not important?
I think for the Browns it was more important because of the new offense, new defense, a lot of new players. Green Bay's a more veteran team. It's probably not as essential.
3rd and goal from the 14-yard line for Green Bay. Arrow steps up, throws over the middle. It's caught. That's Ryan Taylor to the 3-yard line, and now 4th and goal for the Packers. And they are going to go for it.
Once again, you're seeing the depth of the tight end position for the Packers. Nice timing by Graham Harrell. Nice job finding the void in that soft cover 2 zone defense.
With 6.5 to go, 4th and goal for Green Bay. Smithson, the lone wide receiver, he comes in motion. Browns fans are loud here on defense. They botch the snap. And it's caught by Smithson, still on his feet and brought down, and the Browns stop him. Oh, busted play right from the start, but the Browns will take it. They turn him over on downs.
I think Coach McCarthy would want to see his quarterback maybe call a timeout here. Not sure that's the formation, personnel grouping you want to get in on 4th and the long 2.5, 3 yards almost.
Once again, Jared Brown will have poor field position. We'll see him when we come back. 6:09 to go in the 4th quarter. Andrew Catalan, Bernie Kosar, Dave Chudowski with you. 6:09 to go 4th quarter. And the Browns have a 24-17 lead on the Packers. Last time Jared Brown was on the field, he threw an interception. Once again, poor field position for the Browns' 3rd-string quarterback. Let's see what he can do. 1st and 10 from the 5. Smith up the middle, and he picks up 5 on the play.
Young quarterback in the game in the 4th quarter, coming off an interception like that. You see Dom Capers knows it. Still puts the 8th guy up in the box, and the weak safety cheating up at 10 yards to get a positive running play like that. Shouldn't happen against that defensive call.
Here's C78, Dominic Alford, a local product out of Shaker Heights. Undrafted free agent rookie from Minnesota. He can play guard or tackle. He was injured a bit this week with a back injury, but he's back out there tonight. With 5.5 to go in the 4th quarter. 2nd down. Back to Smith up the middle. And you're seeing that burst from Smith when he gets through the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, and actually, nice acceleration in the line of scrimmage. A lot of backs have trouble accelerating when they're in that traffic.
8-yard pickup for Smith and a Cleveland 1st down. Both teams have all 3 timeouts remaining, under 5 to go in the 4th quarter. On the ground to Smith, and this time not much doing. Damari Lattimore got in the backfield, an undrafted rookie from Middle Tennessee State. And it's 2nd down. And they're keeping it simple here for Jared Brown.
And Green Bay is reading that, seeing that the Browns want to try to keep it on the ground and keep it basic and keep the clock moving. They had 10 guys up and around the line of scrimmage to the Browns' 2-back, 2 tight end formation there.
Motion man is L.J. Castile, who's had a very nice training camp, and they go back on the ground to Smith, and he continues to take it right off the gut. Lattimore with another tackle. Armon Smith is showing some things here in the 4th quarter.
Dom Capers is not going to be proud of this front 7 unit right now, trying to stop the run. That was run right into the heart of the Green Bay defense. The Mike linebacker, Sam linebacker, strong safety couldn't have been in any better a position off the tight end. Browns run right into the strength of the defense and still pick up about 10 yards.
You're good, go. Armon Smith, 5 carries, 28 yards. Browns are 6 for 10 on 3rd downs tonight. 3rd and 1. Brown fakes it. He's going to throw. He's got Klutz, who has a first down. Tyler Klutz, the fullback, moves the chains for Cleveland.
Boy, I could hear all my old coaches yelling at Tyler Klutz right there. When you have the lead in the 4th quarter, under 5 minutes, and you get a first down, don't you even think of going out of bounds.
I thought you were going to say that your old coaches used to call you a klutz.
Well, they did.
Okay.
That's why I wasn't the one running. I couldn't make it 2 out of bounds.
1st and 10 for Cleveland. They go back to Smith up the middle. And 3:05 to go. Time ticking away here in this 4th quarter. Don't forget the Browns back in action Friday night. Another home game here at Cleveland Browns Stadium. We'll be with you at 7 o'clock for the pregame show, and then a 7:30 kickoff against the Detroit Lions.
You know, you hear a lot about the finesse of the West Coast offense. I know a lot of those guys take offense to it. This ball movement and running of the ball, albeit it is the 3rd team, is showing a big toughness and physical presence that Coach Shermer's been trying to preach of his team in this training camp.
Smith stuffed at the line. Vic So'oto leading the charge for Green Bay, and the Packers will use a timeout. With 2:23 to go in the 4th quarter. Green Bay will try to get the ball back before the end of this game. 2:23 to go. We're back right after this. Another great shot of Cleveland Browns Stadium. Tonight's aerial coverage provided by Goodyear. Everything Goodyear has learned making tires for superior performance inspires what they roll into yours. Goodyear, more driven. 2:23 to go in the 4th quarter. The Browns have a 3rd and 5 following the Green Bay timeout. Cleveland 7 for 11 on 3rd downs tonight. Last time Brown completed a pass to Klutz on this drive on 3rd down. Let's see what he does here. Reverse to Castile, running left. Gets through one, he's got a first down. Now Jake Castile, stepping down the sideline and out of bounds. Well, Castile's a guy that Shermer has talked about during training camp. Really has impressed at the wide receiver position, and that time on the end around, he takes it for a first down. Let's take a look at the quarterback stats brought to you by Lincoln. It's not just luxury, it's smarter than that. Feel smarter at Lincoln.com. Colt McCoy, the story tonight. Seneca Wallace did throw an interception, but he was 11 of 17. And Jared Brown, after throwing an interception on his first pass attempt, they've really gone to the ground since then. He's only thrown 2 balls.
Yeah, overall, nice performance by the 1st and 2nd teamers today.
Smith on the carry. And Green Bay uses its 2nd timeout with 2:10 to go in the 4th quarter. You see Colt McCoy, who will begin to get ready for the Lions on Friday. They'll go over the film and then be back in Berea on Monday for practice. But he'll be happy when he watches this film. McCoy was very impressive tonight against Green Bay.
You know, we talk a lot about the 2nd half and how guys have a chance to show themselves on film. Again, I joked about it with Klutz. Castillo, the same thing. Coaches, veteran players, general managers, they want to see guys who have awareness. And when you make the first down like that, to run out of bounds like that and not make them use up one of their timeouts, then it doesn't show good football awareness.
Smith pushes forward following the Green Bay timeout. And that will bring us to the 2-minute warning. An announced crowd of 57,077. The Browns lead 24-17. All right, let's take a look at the play of the game brought to you by Time Warner Cable Wideband Internet. Experience our fastest internet ever. Ryan Smith the hit. Titus Brown picks it up and rumbles 43 yards for a Cleveland touchdown. That is the difference right now. And Titus Brown's had a big game for Cleveland tonight. They lead at 24-17. Third and 7 for the Browns after the 2-minute warning. They give it back to Smith. That's his 9th carry of this 11-play drive. They've gone 68 yards on this drive, and Green Bay will use its final timeout with 1:55 to go. Let's go down to the sideline, the Dodge Sideline Report with Dave Chudowski.
Hey, Andrew, thanks a lot. I've spent a lot of time tonight not only watching the game, but watching the guys on the sideline and noticing their body language. And I can tell you from years past, the spirits seem higher. They're really engaged in the game, and I think that's a reflection of Pat Shurmur being calm. Shurmur's talked about how he wants to put the past in the past, and it's time for change. We've seen a new offense, a new defense, even something simple as the offense is on one side of the sideline now compared to last year. The offense and defense had switched sides on the sideline. Little things like that, I think, can go a long way. We're seeing change tonight for sure. Back to you.
Okay, thank you, Dave. Jeff Wolford is out to try to make his second field goal of the night. Dawson kicked in the first half. Wolford with a 44-yard attempt here in the second half, and the kick is good. Wolford 2 for 2, and he pushes the lead to 10 points.
Much has been talked about the holder, McGee. Nice job. The snap was a little low. Jeff Wolford's doing a nice job getting himself on film with those two 40-yard plus kicks.
That's a great point, Bernie, about the holding part of this whole equation. It used to be Reggie Hodges. He's not here anymore after the injury, out for the year. Trying to get McGee to do it. Coaches believe that he can do it. They want to see it, and they've seen it so far tonight. Time now for tonight's hardest hit of the game, brought to you by Jack Mattia Honda, where we still do business with a handshake. And it's Mitchell and Sheard combining on the sack in the first half. There's the big guy, Jamie Mitchell. Traded here last year, did not play a game, didn't know what his future held, and ended up signing a contract. Tom Eckert said, we wanted Mitchell here. He fits our 4-3 perfectly. Big guy, 6'6", 285 pounds out of Mississippi, and he'll be the starting left defensive end for the Browns this year.
Probably as many smiles as we've seen on the Browns sideline after the first preseason game in quite a few years.
They have a 27-17 lead on the defending Super Bowl champion. Shaky Smithson takes it deep in the end zone, and he's going to take a knee. And that will be where this new rule this year comes into play. How deep will it be for you to take a knee? And that time a little too deep for Shaky's liking.
Shaky's run back for all 4 quarters today. He's typically been taking them all out. I think the white flag has come up. He's had enough.
Jeff Wolford, another guy all smiles on the sidelines. 2 for 2 in field goals. And a touchback there. So with 1:52 to go, the Packers take over on the 20-yard line. They trail by 10. Graham Harrell still at quarterback.
Up 10 and no timeouts. You're going to see the Browns, a nice soft defense. They would love to see these types of throws and catches. They'll give up 5-6 yards for catches over the middle. Eat up 10 and 20 seconds at a time.
Kerry Taylor made the catch there. Rookie out of Arizona State. Harrell back to the air, has a man open, and it's dropped. Pass was intended for Torrey Gurley. It was right in his hands, and he couldn't hold on.
I highly respect that throw from Graham Harrell there. You see a lot of young guys that pad their stats in these situations. It's tough to throw those fades with no underneath flare control on the corner, knowing he's going to sink back in that cover too. Graham Harrell still did a great job of sticking it in there. Horrible job by the receiver. Got to make that play if a quarterback has the nerve to make that good a throw in this situation.
3rd down and 4. That one is caught by Taylor over the middle. It's good for a Green Bay first down. Ramsey Robinson made the tackle, and Harrell spikes it with 1:13 to go. Harrell trying to put together an impressive preseason, hang around on this team. You know Rodgers will be the quarterback for many years to come. And Harrell, with Flynn in a contract year, could make a stance here in this preseason and prove himself to the Green Bay coaches that he's worthy of being the backup if Flynn moves on. Back to the air again. Harrell throws and back to Taylor, but they're saying he was out of bounds.
I tell you, Dick Duran is not going to be happy about the way they're playing this soft prevent cover 2. Yes, Graham Harrell's doing a nice job of throwing it. These receivers need to come down with these plays. But it shouldn't be this easy, given a 10-point lead, no timeouts at this stage of the game.
Three receiver set for Harrell. Flushed out to the right, throws on the run. And that one is no good, out of bounds, incomplete. So 4th and 10 for Green Bay. And they are going to go for it with 1 minute to go in the 4th quarter.
With Graham Harrell's made, those are 3 catchable first down balls.
Ball is loose. Packers fall on it, but Austin English applying pressure in the backfield, and they force a turnover on downs.
Whether it's the first, second, or third team guys, the pass rush has been a very nice surprise tonight for the Browns to put this amount of pressure on all 3 phases, or all 3 teams from the Packers offense.
And a nice way for Dick Duran's defense to end the night, if that's indeed their final defensive play, and it will be, because the Browns are in your favorite formation.
Most favorite formation. End of the game victory.
Jarrett Brown takes a knee. I'll have to do that one more time with 50 seconds left. Well, Bernie, considering Pat Shurmur met some of his players for the first time 2 weeks ago, this is a pretty nice debut for the Cleveland Browns in the 2011 preseason.
Absolutely. To get this type of start against, again, we've said it numerous times tonight, the defending Super Bowl champs, to come out and play this level of consistency and really disciplined football.
Just pull it to the wall.
A nice start.
Pat Shurmur all smiles as the Browns win the preseason opener 27-17.
Almost a sense of relief on Coach Shurmur's face there.
And Cole McCoy right there all smiles as well. Seneca Wallace sharing a handshake with Howard Green. But this will be a good week for the Browns to build on what they made mistakes on in this game, but also to take a lot of positives away from the performance they had tonight against Green Bay.
You know, I thought after the family night scrimmage, you saw a little bit of the training camp pressure that was building up on the guys, and they want to do good so bad. And you know, even Colt was mentioning why we're talking about the 1 interception, how about all the good plays, and almost a sense of relief, I think, for everybody to have such a positive first game. They can do their week of practice, keep the building, keeps the installation, both on offense, defense, and special teams, and then go again and play against a very good, improved Detroit Lions team next Friday.
And Bernie, another thing that we talked about that was, you know, a potential weakness of this Browns team was the depth at linebacking core. You know, we saw some things tonight from those backup linebackers. Titus Brown had a really nice game.
Yeah, I think Titus Brown, Brian Smith, guys that we said in pregame needed to take advantage of their undrafted free agent status and get an inordinate amount of reps. Typically the guys don't get under that situation, and I think those are a couple of the guys that definitely improved their roster status.
More to come here from Cleveland Browns Stadium. We will step aside. We'll come back with the post-game report. The final score, Cleveland 27, Green Bay 17. Pat Shurmur a winner in his debut. Much more to come on Channel 3.